Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the 2011 Hindustan Motors Ambassador Grand. This is the MPFI model. This is a petrol and this car comes courtesy of New Ref Customs to me. They've done a fantastic job to bring this car back to life because it was rusted, and also they have dented and painted it and done crazy amount of mods to make it feel like new and better than new actually. This is a scale model which actually sits atop the dashboard. Yeah, they're stickering right there. It has been painted to match the car right in front of me and it looks cool. It really does look cool, and the attention detail is absolutely fantastic here. So the thing is that this being the petrol engine is still quite loud. So the placement is right here on top of the dashboard where it will be stuck on. Let's open the engine bay. I've actually done a vlog of the petrol Ambassador earlier, but this one, having all these mods, feels so much better in every way. So here, check that. It has gas struts. Okay, not gas struts, but the mechanism is such that it slots in right here to keep the engine bay open. How cool is that? Even the Premier Padmini has this. Okay, there's a light placement here. So that's how it turns on. Light was very important in older cars because you had to open the engine bay anytime when the car stopped working and see what is wrong, and then maybe fill water to cool down the engine because that is the radiator. However, here it takes coolant because the older cars used to take water. You can see insulation has been put there so that engine noise doesn't come inside, and right there you can see the details of the vehicle. Engine bay is quite empty, so probably you can slot in a bigger engine as well. Just kidding. The engine has been retuned. It sounds smooth, and to close that, well, I have to use two of my hands, and there it shuts. Oh my god, the thuds and the thunks, insane. It comes with this single thing, but two more are added for this three sort of a treatment. I don't know what you call this. Hindustan Motors logo right there, and at the front, oh my god, there are a lot of changes which you can only realize if you are a big Ambassador fan. For starters, the bumper is now fiber. Otherwise, it comes with metal bumpers which can break a thing or two. However, diesel models actually got the intercooler here, so slightly different design for the bumper. Headlight seems right enough, but not very effective at night, trust me on this. And this thing has also been custom made. It's made of metal, and indicator was actually here, but it has been chipped right there, so you had a circular indicator, I believe. This thing actually comes from the MM540 or the older Thar. This is a custom made grille. Looks fantastic actually, and this color scheme really suits this car. So this was actually finished in white, but it has been modified to have this dual tone treatment, sort of what you get with Bugatti cars. Okay, even the wiper has this white finishing here. This chrome actually comes from the Ambassador Classic, and there's one nozzle for the washer, for the windshield washer that is. There's a front spoiler. Forget rear spoiler, this one is a front spoiler actually, but this is actually a sunshade to block out the sun. I don't know how effective that is. Nice treatment here, that is indicator of course. New Ref Customs, the company which has actually made this car very nicely. And look at this white sidewall tires. You have this treatment here on the steel rims along with this sort of a thali. Kind of cool. What is the tire size? Well, to do that, I just have to slide it like this to see that the tire size is 165/80/15. So yeah, massive sidewall here. Coming to the side of the vehicle, you realize it's around 4 meters in length. Ground clearance seems fine. Not bad at all. I love the color treatment. You won't believe it. In some time of me standing here, few people have come and taken pictures already. These mirrors actually come from the Maruti Baleno. So they will not be that sturdy as you would expect. And the door handles are the same as before. However, you get this sort of treatment, color treatment. This is where fuel actually goes in. And again, chrome. Actually, they have removed a lot of chrome from this car because this car belongs to Gujarat, and in Gujarat and Mumbai and Maharashtra and all, because salt being in the air, rusting happens very fast. So all that has been changed as well. Lights look really nice. These are actually stock lights. Everything is halogen here, and there's a reflector here. Again, the logo of the person who has done this car and the phone number if you want to get in touch. And I am telling you, if you love old cars, probably they will make something nice for you. Says Ambassador here, the Ambassador badging, and dual exhaust, although it's like one getting into two here. Yeah, you can see that from below. Okay, spare wheel is here. There it is, the exhaust. Exhaust looks a bit wicked, to be very honest. Let's actually open the boot, which means, yeah, there it is. Oh, hydraulic struts, huh? Very impressive. Nice carpeting right there. There's a proper jack as well. Below here there's some storage. No, there's actually the spare wheel, which is full size and not an alloy because the regular wheel is not an alloy. Let's just, oh my god, they've put a lot of wood in this car, huh? So the car is full of wood. which actually may be increasing the weight of the vehicle. Here you have to actually push it a bit to close this. Yes. Okay, 1 second. Faisal has to use all his power to close the boot. No, it's not happening. Let's not break something today, at least not right now. Anyways, coming to the side of the car, the other side actually, it is very similar to the other side because both the sides are very much similar as such, but it looks really nice. I like it. The road presence is still fantastic in spite of how old this car is. And look, my finger actually went somewhere. Fingers of truth are injured today. Okay, I think I've locked the door. So let's do one thing. Let's unlock. It has got central locking as well. That's kind of nice. Yeah, here. So the Ambassador has a bench seat. It's like a sofa. It's very nice, but center passenger does not get a head. You know why? Because 3 people did not sit inside. There were 50 people who were sitting in the rear. That is how wide or comfy the seat is. No adjustable headrest. There's a center armrest here. High mounted stop lamp. Speakers are placed right here. And there's this reading lamp which was also there in my esteem because it was like for 550 rupees. Middle passenger does not get a seat belt. And let me get inside. Okay. Legroom is not that great right now because obviously seat has been pushed all the way, but trust me, legroom and kneeroom isn't that great. Headroom seems just about adequate, but seat is actually comfortable. Recline angle is quite nice. Look at the dashboard. Dashboard looks very tasteful indeed. Beautiful. And you get power windows. By the way, power windows were actually standard. It makes this nice sound, which means that I should do an ASMR video. It rolls down very fast because gravity is on the side, but it doesn't roll up as fast because gravity is not on the side. Okay, there it shuts. And you know what? This is nice handle to hold on to. No door pockets, of course. So comfort levels are fine. In fact, it's got rear AC vents. These come directly from the Renault Kwid. I kid you not. Let's shut this, and shuts with a proper thud. Okay, here you have to put the key inside to unlock and lock the car. Now the seats seem comfortable. These seats are actually from the second generation of the Honda City, the NHC or the Dolphin City. Handbrake is placed here. Pedal placement seems fine, but there is no dead pedal. Now these are actually the controls for the parking lights, main lights. This is I think for the 12-volt charging socket. This is for the wiper control. This is for the headlight leveler. And here you get no control. So how do you operate the power windows? Well, from the center. Now this is the lever for the indicator. This is for high beam and low beam. And the steering, well, feels nice to hold. It's huge. The horn is also nice. This is for the indicator. Let's just shut it for a moment. There's a clock here. And you press this, there opens the glove box, which has 2 cup holders on it. There's some store space here. There's some store space here as well. No auto dimming mirror, you won't expect that as well. There's a mirror here, there is no mirror here. This is a bit hard or stiff to operate at the moment. Now here you get some storage space. In fact, this is quite deep. Now this whole center console has been made again and has been done in a fantastic way because it's made of wood. There's storage space here. There's a USB charging socket there. These are the controls for the power windows. This is for the child lock function. So front power windows, rear power windows. Gear lever feels nice to operate. And the seats are actually comfortable. Okay, there's a light placement here. A lot of lights. There's a handle to hold on to. There's no handle to hold on to here. Oh my god, there's a light here also. Plenty of lights inside this car. That said, let's try and use the wipers. And there, okay, they work a bit slowly, but that's what you would expect, right? Anyways, there's an audio system here. These are the controls for the air conditioning. Let me show it to you again. These are actually the controls for the air conditioning. This is to turn on the air conditioning and this is to turn on the blower speed. Vents are placed right here in the center. And instrument cluster seems nice. So this is for the engine temperature, this is for the fuel meter, and this happens to be the speedometer with an odometer which says 163,000 kilometers. You press this button for twin trip meters as well. Wow, what a revolution. HM logo right there. This is for the telltale lights. And let me do one thing. Let me rev the motor a bit. Sounds really very nice. Okay, let me turn off the car. And there it turns off. Very silent once it's off, obviously. So this is the key of the vehicle. There are 2 keys. So this is the HM key and this is the Maruti Omni key. Yeah. So now you can kidnap people because you have the certified key for the same. Both the keys actually work. Yeah, both the keys actually work to turn on the car. I am not kidding. So we're just going to use the Maruti key here. Let me put it inside and there. Yeah, no clutch lock, none of that. Simple, straight away, starts right away. What a lovely looking dashboard. I really like the way the dashboard has been done. Quite classy. This car itself is very classy indeed. But how does it drive? So let's do one thing. Let's start driving right away. All right, we are all set to go, which means turning on the car. Turns on very smoothly indeed, and look at the speed of the power window. It is actually very fast by old car standards. It's like super fast. Handbrake down, which is on the right side here, hidden of course. And this thing actually opens. The other doors actually open in this. How cool is that scale model having the doors to open, but the interior is not really functional as such. Only the front doors open, nothing else open. So we're just going to keep it here straight away. And now into first gear, and off we go. Somebody's Mercedes EQS 53 AMG is parked right ahead, so I'm going to be a little careful. Not yours. Yours is that i20, and off we go. Okay, it's actually very smooth off the line somehow. Yeah, I like the way the smoothness is there in this car. It's quite impressive, and it's very easy to drive because obviously you've got a power steering, and then there's not much effort in terms of making gear shifts and all. But what about a U-turn? Can that be managed easily? For that, we have to actually come into second gear, and I'm going to take a U-turn right here, and oh my god, that was quite easy. And the dogs started barking. They also love this car. You want to lift or something? No problem. I don't think they want to. Anyways, let's try and see how is the handling, because there is this lack of feel in the center position. So you know, it's like ye dosti hum nahi chodenge. So what happens is now there's a lot of body roll when you try to do that, and here, okay, I can feel the rear stepping out of line. There's not much power that it's going to drift or something, but this is obviously rear wheel drive, and rear wheel drive is of course a rear wheel drive, but you need more power. Now the engine actually is smooth and refined because it comes from Isuzu. This is a Japanese engine. This is a 1.8 liter SOHC unit. It's a 4-cylinder producing just 75 horsepower, and torque happens to be 130 Newton meters, which is decent, I'll be honest. So we're going to come into fifth gear straight away, and here you can see it feels very at ease. In fact, it pulls very smoothly as well. Here onto the throttle. Once in fifth gear, it becomes super silent. You can't hear a thing as such, but you have to avoid all the bumps at every cost because obviously it has leaf springs at the rear. Crossing the speed breaker, no problem at all. This was known as the king of Indian roads for a reason. Speed breakers don't affect it one bit whatsoever. Now this is a 2011 model, so that's the reason why everything is so smooth, refined and nice. Which brings me to the history of this car. This is actually based on the Morris Oxford Series 3, which was sold from 1956 to 1959. This is the 6th generation of the Ambassador, which means that they have sold us a 50-year-old car. That's the reason the car became extinct. It was so old, so dated, but this car is actually an emotion, okay, and it's an emotion for me also because my grandfather had one for almost 25 years. After that, they sold it off in junk for 5,000 bucks. It still hurts my heart because then paper ka issue ho hi jata na. After that longer time, you don't renew the papers and all, and it was that particular car on which I learned driving. Yes, I did. Okay, I think it was known as the Mark II or something. So basically, the car was in Lucknow, in the Lucknow winters, which is like 1 degrees. Me and my elder sister, trembling with cold, went to learn driving there. And my uncle actually taught me. Hindi mein unhe mamu bolte hain, to mama banaya humne unhe. And he taught us how to drive on that car. That story will continue in a bit because I'll come to a halt here. Hazard lights on because obviously it is time to launch, which means into first gear, hazard lights off, revving the motor, and off we go. Oh, some amount of wheel spin. And oh my goodness, it does wheel spin quite a bit, and it sounds louder than it goes. So yes, this engine sound is very vocal inside, even though there's that insulation there. It really doesn't help. But the good bit is that it's about the feel of driving this car, which is unbelievable. Firstly, the sound of these old cars now is just very nice. I love it. It just feels so good. It feels punchy enough. Top end is obviously lacking, low end is fine, but mid range is where the strong part of this engine is, and brakes are not that strong. I would say brakes are a little weak. You've got discs at the front, drums at the rear, and no ABS of course. So we are going to come into first gear. Honk, because the horn is so good now. Now I'm revving it a bit for the fear of not stalling, but otherwise you don't really need to rev it. You can just, yeah, you have to be a bit careful while making such maneuvers because honestly the engine is not going to like take off all of a sudden, but the body is really very wide. My uncle taught me physics of driving with this car. They're like, that line from the Viper goes there, passes by, someone is in that particular line of sight, you will clear him, and all that stuff he told me, which later I realized was a load of bull because you just have to drive andaze se. You can't sit and do physics there because you're no Einstein at the end of the day. Let's change the lanes. Obviously there's a ton of body roll because when I do this you can see the roll is just like amplified. It's like a roller coaster of sorts. However, this car really attracts a lot of attention. People turn around and see this car. There's an AMG parked around, nobody's looking at it. Everybody's looking at this beautiful Ambassador because they're like, Wow, what a machine! An unbelievable feel of driving that it offers. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel light, it just feels right. And then you can see a very good view of what's around. These mirrors are actually helpful, so thankfully Maruti has contributed something here after killing the Ambassador, because Hindustan Ambassador was like a monopoly till Maruti Suzuki, or rather Maruti entered via Suzuki, and then they completely screwed every other car company right from Premier to Hindustan Motors and everyone in between as well. So driving it in the city is actually very effortless. Turning radius is fine. This is actually a body on frame platform, yeah, coupled with leaf springs. Ride is not the best at lower speeds, but over bigger bumps and at slightly higher speeds, slightly means somewhere above 40 kilometers per hour, it actually behaves quite nicely because it has that rugged appeal to it. And then in terms of safety, obviously it gets 0 stars, but because it has a metal body, whenever it comes across a crash, not much happens to the car, because the car doesn't really absorb any of the energy, it just transmits it to the passenger, which is not nice. You know what, a smart car which is very small completely crumbles, absorbs all the energy from the impact so that the passengers are safe. But in olden days, what you would expect. Anyways, and here I think finally we are going to hit 100 kilometers per hour. Okay, it moves around quite a bit, yeah. So you can see in the center head position, steering doesn't have much feel. Top speed should be around 120 kilometers per hour. And you know what, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour should take around 18 seconds. Mileage is between 10 to 12 kilometers per liter. Again, depending on your driving style, you can make some mods to it to make it a little faster, but that's pointless because it's not about speed, it's all about the feel here. दवा तुम्हारा बंद नहीं मान हो रहे हैं. So this car is actually Euro 3 compliant, and then they had a BS4 version as well. Why did Ambassador sales stop eventually? Because obviously there was a big decline in sales. Earlier politicians and bureaucrats loved to buy this car because of the road presence and whatnot, and later more alternatives came. Today politicians are roaming around in Range Rovers and Land Cruisers and the likes. So yeah, they have come a long way themselves. Let's take a U-turn. Come on, you will make it easily. Okay, turning radius is quite a bit, and I actually learned physics. I was telling you now, physics on this car. How did I learn it? Well, my uncle used to tell me about all those angles and all, but he used to tell me, oh, don't go over that particular place, the tire will get punctured, the tire will get cut, because the tires were slick, completely gone. 20 years on the same set of tires. Kudos to my uncle. Look at the smile on the faces of the people sitting right ahead, and they are like, yaar, mast gaadi, ekdam rapchik gaadi hai yaar, must feel and all. Okay, finally it's time to go, and off we go. The sound is so good, you know, you don't have to go fast to really enjoy the sound. It's about driving slow, enjoying the feel, looking at people, just admiring the car all along. That is the beauty of this thing. So while the Ambassador is extinct for the moment, because Hindustan Motors actually sold the rights to the Ambassador brand to Peugeot for rupees 80 crores, this car will live on forever in our hearts because it is unbelievably amazing to drive. Nuren actually came all the way to drive this car, in spite of the fact that her cousin brother has one Ambassador which is completely smashed up because something fell on it. It broke completely. So kudos to Nuren and her family for doing NCAP tests on this beautiful Ambassador. It's a white colored one, it's in bad state. So the restoration cost of that car came out to be around 3-4 lakhs, and then people in the family were like, why are you spending 3-4 lakhs on this car? You can get an Alto. Arey bhai, Alto bhi nahi aati aajkal 3-4 lakh mein. But only those who know that this is about a feel. It's not about just a car or modes of transportation. It has long held being the most popular and highest selling car. Its main rival was the Premier Padmini in India, and trust me, I like the Padmini better. I had a Padmini in the family and I loved it absolutely. It's one of my absolute favorite cars of all times. That's how good the Padmini is. They put some rumbler strips and you can hear the noise, okay? Yeah, it felt like it destroyed the rumblers, cut it into few pieces, and the C-Class is coming in my way. And second gear, come on. The higher the gear, the better it is, because firstly there's no tachometer, you don't need it. But other than that, the other problem is that when you rev the motor at higher end of the rev range, you're like worried engine will blow up. It will not blow up, but why put the engine through that stress? Well, because we can. Anyways, hazard lights on, and let's come to a halt. It's time to launch it again. Yes, we shall do that.
Brake, please. There's no oxygen inside.
Chalo, we are good to go.
Dude, suffocating hai. It's not hot.
I know. Chalo. Okay, time for the launch sequence, which means traction control off, ESP off, turning it into race mode, into first gear, launch mode on, launch control activated, revving the motor, and hazard lights off. Oh, it bogs down very quickly, yaar. It bogs down like super quickly. We'll try it again. Wheel spin, yo baby. Yeah, it does crash through almost every possible bump out on the road. But listen to the sound of the indicators. Okay, 3, 2, 1. That also has a different feel, like a proper click to it. Everything is just so fantastic. So guys, this is my vlog of the beautiful Hindustan Motors Ambassador, the Grand MPFI 2011 model petrol. There was a diesel which was really very loud and very unbearable in terms of sound, NVH and all that stuff, but it was more frugal, it was heavier of course. Handling is not here, ride is okay, fine. Driving feel is intact, although steering doesn't really have much feel, but those were the good old days. In fact, there was a Landmaster, which is another generation of the Morris Oxford, and there was a, I don't remember the name, they had a pickup truck as well. So they had a lot of versions coming out of this car, which is very popular. In fact, there's a Morris Oxford Club as well, and I quite like this car, but I like the Premier Padmini more. And it's kudos to New Rev Customs for making something this good. Like, they've brought back this car to its glory and made it even better than what it was originally. So big thumbs up to them. And if you like this vlog, तुम्हें तो पता है, thumbs up दो, तोड़ दो like button. And I'll just downshift into third. Bye bye.